lot of people, they really can't handle silence. It makes them really uncomfortable. So the more that there's pauses like this, there's a lot of suffering that's going on. And for a non-native English speaker, when there's quiet like that, there's worry and panic that goes on internally. Like, oh, should I be saying something here? Did I say something wrong? And they don't know how to respond. And like your mind goes out of control. Like, oh, were they not able to understand me because my pronunciation was too bad? Or did I use the wrong word? Or was I too confusing? And it goes on and on and on and on like that. And the thing about it is, it's obviously not only non-native English speakers, it happens to native speakers too. Because there's not a lot of, how do I want to say it? When you freak out about the silence, it's because you're thinking too far ahead in the conversation. You're not able to hang in the moment. Like, realistically, just like before when I was talking about interruptions, where good friends, when there's a close established bond, you can interrupt each other, you talk over each other, you flip-flop back and forth all the time. Like, there's not a clear-cut A, B, A, B, A, B. It's A, B, B, A, B, A, B. Like, it goes back and forth like that. So the key point there is there's an established bond, so that means there's comfort and familiarity. But as I mentioned before, like dealing with awkward silence with my mom, we have the comfort, we have the familiarity, but she does have anxiety, I think. That's impacting a lot of things. So normally when I talk about awkward silence, usually the quick takeaway I say is, for you, if you're worried about your own speaking, it's only awkward if you make it awkward. Like, learn to handle those pauses. Learn to be at peace when you run out of things to say. It's all right if you don't have another conversation topic immediately to jump straight into. But the difference here is, if you see someone else suffering in the silence, maybe that's where you want to be a little bit more proactive to jump in. So any good conversation, communication dynamic always takes two people, right? So it's not only freaking out about who you are, what you can do, what you can say, but it's, okay, like I also see this other person because I'm talking with this other person. I'm not talking at them. I'm not just shooting out words. I'm giving a speech, but there is going to be a back and forth. So if I can recognize the person that I'm speaking to, especially if it's somebody that I care about, and oh, whoa, like I'm perfectly fine. I'm comfortable with the silence. I don't really have that much more to say, but whoa, they are going crazy. They are losing their mind in the silence. I need to throw them a bone. I need to send them a little bit of a life raft. So for me, in my very personal case, the more I let my mom sit in some of that silence, again, I'm not ignoring her, but some of those beats when there's a little bit longer of a break than what might be expected, I need to kind of take more control of the conversation. So whether that's a question or go back through memory lane and bring up a story from my childhood, I think I'm going to be a little bit more conscious of that. Okay, so the actionable takeaway, I think everybody would be a lot better off if they could take some solace and be more comfortable with silence as a whole. But don't be too hard on yourself, and don't overvalue what the silence means. Silence can just mean nothing, okay? Doesn't mean that someone's at fault, something's wrong, you're good or bad at a thing. Silence is just silence.